welcome everyone out tonight to our final candidate forum. It's a great turnout. We're glad you're here. As we have mentioned before in the last forums, this is a very important election season, and so we're looking forward tonight to hearing about our candidates and meeting them, and then getting into the election, which is the 14th of February. That is Valentine's Day. I know it's tough. You got to pull away and go vote, but then stop and get your hearts and your flowers and all of those things after that. But it's important to note that to have a say, you need to vote. And so we invite everyone to come out this year and vote for all of our candidates, from the mayor to the city council to the chief of police and our city clerk. So again, thank you very much for being here. I'm Houston Britton. I'm the president and CEO of the PACC, Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce. So I welcome you out tonight. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'll all stand, we'll salute and pledge. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, we'd like to welcome our candidates. There's a request to pray, so I will do so. Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we're so very thankful for this opportunity to come together this evening to have this forum, to meet our candidates for this very important election. We ask that Thy Spirit be with us in this meeting, that we are respectful to each and every one of us, respectful to our candidates and them to their colleagues that they're running against. And Father, we're thankful for the opportunity and freedom that we have in this country, and we ask a special blessing on those that serve for us each and every day and those that have come in past. Father, we're thankful for the opportunity that our town has and the opportunities in the future, and we ask that as we move forward that our government, city government, and all of our agencies work together in unity to provide our city with the best possible, everything that possible that can be for our city. And again, Father, we're so very thankful. Watch over us and keep us safe, and those that are still traveling, and watch over us tonight as we go home. And we say and ask these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Yes. Okay, so our candidates tonight, first of all, we'd like to thank them for coming out tonight, and we're glad you're here, or we wouldn't be having to meet the candidate. So we do have one missing. Mr. Buchanan could not make it tonight, so we have Mayor Lees here tonight, and we have Jay Lyons, we have Zach Doyle, and we have Brian Montgomery, so welcome. We'd like to thank friends of the Pryor Creek Library and the PACC for presenting this event. We'd also like to thank Brooke Rouge for his broadcasting tonight. So thank you, Brooke, for Rouge Digital. Also, this will be recorded tonight, so there's a link. You can go to the PACC website, or you can go to the city website to get that link, and I'm sure there's quite a few people watching us right now, but if you want to rewatch the event, just go to that link when you get home, and it'll be posted for you to watch. So tonight, I will repeat the questions multiple times because sometimes people are just joining online, so I want them to be able to hear what the questions are. Tonight, also, we are going to do a giveaway, so when you came in tonight, you got a ticket. At the end of the event, we're going to call a ticket. If I call you winning ticket, you get to take a guest to the Boat, Tackle, and Sports Show that's happening this weekend right out here at the Mays County Fairgrounds, presented by the PACC and Montgomery Productions. And so this is a great opportunity. I went out there today. They're getting it all set up. There's going to be a lot of people here from 4 different states, and they'll be staying in our hotels and eating in our restaurants. And we'll be out there at the PACC at the front table, and we'll be handing out a lot of tourism stuff, things about our restaurants and things like that. So we invite everyone to come out, but you could be a lucky winner tonight and get a ticket to be able to go with a guest. So stick around afterwards. All right, candidates. So we have some ground rules, and so let me give those to you as it follows. So we're going to be multiple questions that will be asked of you tonight. You'll have 2 minutes to answer those questions. We have a young lady sitting right here in the front. She has a green handkerchief. She'll be timing us. When she waves that flag, you have 15 seconds to complete your answers, okay? We ask that you respect that so that we have plenty of time to get all of our questions in tonight, okay? We have advised the audience tonight when they came in, if they wanted to ask a question, they put it on a 3x5 card. We'll have those 3x5 cards available and ready. Should we have time left in the program, then I'll ask the questions from the audience, okay? The other thing I would like to say is respect. Tonight is a session where we're meeting our candidates, we're visiting with our candidates, we're not here to point fingers at anyone or anybody. So what I would ask that you respect your fellow candidates by answering the questions and not pointing out any mischievous or things that have been done. And I will also ask the audience to do the same and to keep this a formal event to where we're not having any outbursts or grandstanding or anything like that. So we ask in all respect to do that. The other two forums we've had, everybody's been very respectful, so we ask the same tonight, okay? All right. Let's get to the questions. You guys ready? We'll start with Mr. Doyle. Mr. Doyle, first question. Why do you want to hold the office you are running for?
Let me ask, can everybody see us up here in the back, or do we need to stand up to answer? Would that help? Can everybody see okay? Okay. So I'm Zach Doyle. I live here in Pryor, obviously, over 713 Northeast Graham Court on the east side of town. My wife, Amanda, and our three kids, Adeline, Reldon, and Harper, we're all active in the community, and we love our community. A little over a year ago, we sat down as a family and discussed me running for mayor. I explained that while I was on the city council, I learned so much about how the community was run. I learned that I loved serving the community in a leadership capacity. I got to understand the budget, and twice was able to play a role in producing what had been one of the most solid budgets that Pryor had ever had. I learned that we have so many great voices in our community, and they all have so much to contribute. I wanted to show my kids that if you want to make an impact, you have to go do it. As a family, we agreed to support each other in this endeavor. Secondly, I see deficiencies in our government, areas that we just need to improve, such as, and I've said this before, we need a plan. We need to come together and actually create plans that we can use to fortify our community now and in 5, 10, or even 30 years. I want everything that we do, and this will be important to my administration, that we put our families and our children first. This will be a driving force behind everything that we do. I want to create pride and quality of life for all that live in Pryor, Oklahoma.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Lyons. I want to thank you all for coming tonight, and I want to thank you all for hosting this tonight as well. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak here in front of you all and share with you all why I want to be mayor of Pryor Creek. I've lived in Pryor Creek for almost 40 years and have seen firsthand the incredible potential of this community. But I've also seen the challenges that this community faces with the lack of job opportunities and the exploding housing costs that we've been recently faced with, as well as other issues. And I know that it's time for change. I want to be mayor because I'm passionate about this community. And I believe that together we can create a bright future for Pryor Creek. I believe that the power of local government to bring people together, excuse me, sorry. And it's time to make some changes in our community. As mayor, I would focus on creating jobs and improving the local economy so that we can attract new businesses and provide for opportunities for our residents. I would also like to continue to improve our schools. This is one area that we have been fortunate in Pryor to have an excellent school system, but I also don't want to be at the way of, because it's good, let's just put it to the side and not worry about it. We need to continue to focus on our schools because our children are our future. I would be a mayor who is accessible, responsive, and accountable to the people of Pryor Creek. I would work tirelessly to address the concerns of our residents and ensure that your voice is heard at City Hall. In conclusion, I want to be mayor because I believe in Pryor Creek. and I believe that together we can build a brighter future for this town. One of the most important things to me, there you go.
Thank you, sir. For the audience that's viewing in, the question is right now is, why do you want to hold the office that you're running for? And this is for our viewing audience online.
Good evening. My name is Larry Lees. I was raised from first breath to 18 years old in Tulsa, Oklahoma. From there, I went to Norman, Oklahoma, receiving a degree from the University of Oklahoma. Toward the end of that time, I graduated and married a gal named Donna Cooper, and I moved to Pryor Creek. I've been here since December 1976. Why do I want to hold or keep the office of mayor? First of all, since 2018, I've had a conviction to serve as mayor, and that conviction doesn't let me go. The conviction holds me and it drives me. I feel like that I have a skill set that's been productive for all my working career. I continue with every intention to empower those that I work with. That empowerment has been exceedingly productive in the past 3.5 years as city departments have grown stronger, partnerships have thrived, and the growth energy is seen and it's felt throughout our city. Secondly, with the progress that we've made together promoting and nurturing an environment of growth and then seeing it happen before our eyes, I'd like to have the opportunity to finish some of the things that I've been able to start, especially with our economic development. Our economic development machine is strong and it's building for many years of growth via our Economic Development Trust Authority, our Pryor Main Street and our Chamber of Commerce and the partnerships that we have. The announcement on Tuesday regarding the grocery store and the vegetable grow facility is very exciting. Oklahoma Grocery Access Alliance is projected to invest $400 million in our town, in our city, over a 5-year period of time. Is it time? It's time. Thank you very much.
She was nice about it. Yes, my name is Brian Montgomery Sr. I've lived around here about 50 years, went to school here. I've worked here in different lumber yards. Reason I'd like to become mayor is to finish things that we haven't even got started yet. And Band-Aids don't fill a pothole.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll start with you for the next question, sir. Next question. What have you learned from previous experience or service that will help you in this role?
I'm proud to have served as the police chief of Salina for the last 5 years, and I'm excited to bring these lessons that I learned from Salina to my campaign for mayor of Pryor Creek. Yeah, I got you. Apologize for that. As police chief, I had the privilege of leading a dedicated team of public servants who worked tirelessly to keep our community safe. Through the experience, I learned the importance of effective communication, collaboration, and building trust within the community. As mayor, I would bring these same principles to the table. I understand the importance of working closely with local businesses, community organizations, and residents to address the challenges facing our city. By fostering open communication and a collaborative approach, we can ensure that our government is working effectively to meet the needs of our community. Additionally, my experience as police chief has taught me that the importance of fiscal responsibility. I have a proven track record of managing budgets, negotiating contracts, and allocating resources in a way that benefits the community as a whole. As mayor, I would bring the same level of financial insight to City Hall, working to ensure that our government is spending your tax dollars wisely and efficiently. In conclusion, my experience as police chief has prepared me well for the role of mayor. I'm committed to working with the community to address the challenges facing Pryor Creek, and I'm eager to bring my experience, my passion, and my dedication to the job. I appreciate the opportunity that you all have given me tonight. Thank you.
All right, Mayor, for our viewing audience online, what have you learned from previous experience or service that will help you in this role?
Well, I've been around a long time. I've learned quite a few things, I suppose. My previous management experience has been over many years, starting in the late 1970s, and in many employment roles. I've always gravitated to leadership and responsibility in organizations as far back as grade school and in sports and music and school organizations and in church. A few things that I've learned, one of those things is don't let your pelican mouth overrun your hummingbird fanny. And so as a young guy and as a young salesman, that was one of the things that I tried to employ. You know, when you're in sales, you're driven to make a sale. And for instance, you're on the telephone and you're saying, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And you hang up the phone and you say, how am I going to do that? And so a valuable lesson a long time ago was that not to let your pelican mouth overrun your hummingbird fanny. In the position of mayor, I always want to please others and be their guy, so to speak. But the truth is, you can't always please everyone. And you're not always going to be their guy. It just doesn't happen that way. So don't let your pelican mouth overrun your hummingbird fanny. Number two, prioritize the stewardship of relationship over anything else. There are many examples of this. One of them is tell the truth no matter the cost. And another is always choose to build someone up and avoid tearing folks down. More than anything else, elected officials are in the people business. Respectful acknowledgement of everyone, even when discipline is required or when there are those who oppose you. Treating others respectfully always places you and others in a position of productivity and blessing. Oh, okay, I see it. I had one more item there, but we're going to let that go.
I'm going to give you guys some closing comments when it's over, so if you forget something, I'm going to allow you to have that, okay?
Thank you. Yes, I've been in customer service for 45 years. You come to me, you need something, I find it for you. I get it for you. A lot of these people out here know who I am. A lot of people don't. Ask the people. Customer service. You're the customer. I will service you. That's my job.
Yes, yeah.
Give me a minute,
All right,
man.
Mr. Doyle.
Come on.
What have you learned? That you just lost all your time. You only got a minute left.
That's all right. I can talk fast.
What have you learned from the previous experience or service that will help you in this role?
Oh, I learned that learning comes from listening. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned since I first came on years ago is that eager, fresh, and ready to go city council member was that I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. I have to listen and humble myself if I'm going to make any leeway in anything that I do. I'm all about learning and doing what I can to better myself and those around me, those that work for me, and those that I work for. I've attended several municipal finance classes put on by organizations such as the Oklahoma Municipal League or other agencies related to that. I've learned a lot by trial and error, I've learned what works, I've learned what doesn't work. I've learned that I won't always have the answer. Serving as a counselor and as the council president, I learned that it is okay to disagree. It's okay to feel differently about something, because ultimately in the end, it's not about who's right, it's about what's right. I have 20 years plus of management and personnel experience. I have read and studied our city's charter and our city's codes. I plan to see those being brought up to date within the first year of being in office. I attended training with OCEA, which is the Oklahoma Code Enforcement Association, and I became certified in basic code enforcement. This is because I was asked by the council to serve as the city nuisance abatement officer. During this time, we've worked together to clean and clear more dilapidated homes and properties than the city has ever historically seen. Lastly, serving the community. Oh my gosh, 15. You know, I've learned to love the community. I've learned to love, and that comes from service.
Thank you. I could actually probably give you guys a little bit more time since we're missing a candidate tonight. So if we, maybe we just bump this up to about, yeah.
2 minutes and what, 15 seconds?
Yeah, let's go 2.5, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. All right, next question. Mr. Lees, if elected, what is the first issue you will address, and what is your first action item to address that issue?
What's the first issue I'll address, and what's the first action item to address the issue? The first issue I have already addressed, and it is to ask folks what they think my first addressable issue should be, because I need to ask you guys what that is. This is what I've heard. Find a way to start and finish the park pool. And I'm actively, and others are actively looking for grant funding to that end. Another thing that has been told to me, try to discover if there were monies lost due to negligence or impropriety regarding the Emergency Center Library Expansion Project. And if that was the case, work to recover those funds. So I'm participating as City Council directs in an audit that may reveal negligence and or impropriety. If so, then there will be appropriate legal action that will serve as the remedy. So I'm going to pick up, since I have more time, I'm going to pick up from the last question a little bit. So one of the other things that I learned about serving is that when your skills are deficient, you work like a dog to try to correct that and try to improve. So I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a mayor, I'm a musician, I'm a horseman, I'm a pilot, and I'm a business owner. So to succeed in life disciplines, a high level of skill is mandatory, and a consistent honing of skills has become my culture and my way of life. And I'm sure there are other things that I want to do if elected, and I'll depend on our citizens to express what those are. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the question, I'll repeat it. If elected, what is the first issue you will address, and what will be your first action item to address that issue?
Let's fix the roads first. Then we work on everything one at a time and quickly and as fast as we can get it done. And the proper way to get it done. We decide to do something different, we have to ask the community. The community is the one that wants us to take care of it. There's no other way to do that. You have to ask questions.
All right, y'all just picked up another 2 minutes. Okay. No. You get to. No. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it goes back this way. Yeah. We'll give Zach a chance to speak again.
I know, what's the deal with that, man? Come on.
All right, let's go with question number 4. What is your plan to address the city's budget and financial management?
Do I get to answer the last question?
Okay, all right. Get my head on straight here.
Barbara.
Okay, 3. If elected, what is the first issue you will address, and what is the first action item that you'll address? You
All
should
right.
address that issue.
All right, thank you. Now, this isn't fair. I'm a little flustered by that little mess right there. All right, so the first thing is to remember the people that have supported me. I have been so blessed and supported that it would only be right to give thanks to those people that have helped me, especially my family. I tell everybody every day that I am humbled by the support that I've been given. Secondly, once I have been sworn in, it would be my goal to promptly cease the increasing of the mayor's salary. Stay put. The last 3 years, we've seen it rise just over 14%. This freeze that I am proposing would not affect any other salaries paid by the city, only that of the mayor. And I know that that is typically set by ordinance, but we've seen it raise via cost of living expenses. And so we need to get in and we need to make that right. We need to take care of that immediately. And then we need to begin a full assessment of the city. We can't move forward if we don't know what we have. We need to assess everything from the books in the library to the buildings and properties that we own. We need to know what we have and where we stand so that we can begin rebuilding and fortifying. We need to set the city and the employees up for success. That's vital. And how do we do that? We do that through training. We do that through supporting them and letting them know that we're there for them. Things like infrastructure and that training need to be addressed. We need to address the relationships with our neighbors, whether it's the county commissioners, the county, the industrial park, neighboring school district boundaries, things like that. We need to look at those things. We need to spend every effort that we have becoming the strongest and most confident that we can become. Now I'm done.
You gonna read the question again?
If elected, what is the first issue you will address, and what is the first action to address that issue?
I'm truly honored to be running for mayor of Pryor Creek, and I'm passionate about making this city a safer and more secure place to live. As a former police chief, I understand the importance of a strong and effective public service system, or public safety system, excuse me. I have seen firsthand the impact that a well-trained and well-equipped police force can have on the safety and well-being of our communities. If elected, my top priority will be to improve public safety in Pryor Creek. This will involve a multifaceted approach that invests in our police and fire departments, enhances emergency preparedness and response, and works to prevent crime before it happens. To start, I will work to ensure that our police and fire departments have the resources they need to do their job effectively, including the latest technology, training, and equipment. I will also work to improve emergency preparedness and response by developing a comprehensive emergency management plan and conducting regular drills and exercises to ensure that our first responders are ready to respond when disaster strikes. In addition, I will believe that preventing crime before it happens is one of our most effective ways to keep our community safe. To achieve this, I will work with community-based organizations, businesses, and residents to develop programs and initiatives that address the root cause of crime, such as poverty, drug abuse, and youth violence. In conclusion, I am committed to making Pryor Creek a safer and more secure place to live, work, and raise a family. I have the experience and passion to get the job done, and I am eager to roll up my sleeves to get to work. I'm grateful for this opportunity that you all have given me today. Thank you.
You get to start this time. All right, we're back on track. Question number 4. What is your plan to address the city's budget and financial management?
I'm sorry.
What is your plan to address the city's budget and financial management?
It caught me off guard on that one. Even though I knew he was coming, I just hated to be first. There's money out there to be found. There's money that we can cut from some departments to put into other departments that need it worse. Now, everything the city's got is fantastic. We need to all be glad we have what we got. But there is money out there. We just have to look just a little bit harder. Now, let me take it to him.
Make sure he gets it this time.
All right, Zach.
Thank you, Brian.
What is your plan to address the city's budget and financial management?
Well, you know, this always feels like a little bit of a loaded question. But first off, we need to realize that whether we like it or not, this next year we're going to be in a much different situation than we've been in for decades. We'll have a new clerk, we'll have a new treasurer, we'll have new city council members. We may or may not have other changes. But, you know, these individuals are going to be busy. They're going to be busy learning their new jobs. They're going to be busy learning their new positions. And we need to support them and back them the best that we can. And part of that means that we allow them the time to do their training. We need to put our focus into hardcore training. And what I mean by that is, you know, we tout transparency and accountability, but if we don't set, as I've said, we don't set everybody up for success, then we're going to fail. I want every key individual in the city, department heads, council members, whether they're on the budget committee or not, to take these municipal budgeting classes so that they can learn the basics of how the budget is run and what the expectations are, the depreciations and the trends and all of those things that we have to look at as a city with our budget. I also want, I don't want the budget to be a last minute wrap up. I don't want us to be in the 11th hour trying to get approvals from the budget committee or from other things. I want this to be done mid-June, early July, so that we have time to review it if we need to before we submit it. I think that that's something that has always done us good in the past when we've had it done early and we've had it ready. I plan on sitting down with all of the department heads and working through what their needs are. For some, those are going to be CapEx expenses. For others, it's going to be payroll issues or personnel issues. It may be vehicles that we need to look at. There's a whole gambit of things that we need to look and assess and see where we're at. That's all part of that assessment that I had talked about earlier. One of the things we need to do is we need to evaluate retail trends in our area. We need to go back and realize that our monies come from sales tax. And if we don't reevaluate regularly the retail trends, whether we use whether we use reports that come in such as the gap reports or the information that Main Street can gather, plus the other sources that come in from the state, we just need to know what we have available. We need to know when it comes in and when it's not coming in. And if we're spending money that's not coming in at that time of the year, then we're not doing ourselves any good. And so we need to research our economy a little bit and see how that happens. Did you say done? Okay. I didn't see you. I apologize.
Go ahead.
As a candidate for mayor of Pryor Creek, I understand the importance and responsibility and effective financial management for our city. If elected, I will make a top priority to address the city's budget and financial management. This will involve a number of key steps, including a comprehensive review of current spending patterns, identification of areas where we can reduce costs and improve efficiency, and development of a long-term plan for responsible financial management. One of the key elements of my plan is to increase transparency and accountability in the city's budgeting and financial management processes. This will include regular reporting on the city's financial performance, as well as increased opportunities for public input and engagement on financial matters. In addition, I will work to identify new revenue streams and partnerships that will allow us to address the city's budget and financial management challenges in a responsible and sustainable manner. This might include leveraging public-private partnerships, seeking out grants and other funding opportunities, and finding innovative ways to generate new revenue for the city. Finally, I will work to ensure that the city's budget and financial management practices are in line with the best practices and ethical standards. This will involve regular training and development opportunities for city employees, as well as increased oversight and accountability mechanisms to ensure that taxpayer dollars are being spent effectively and efficiently. In conclusion, I am committed to responsible and effective financial management for Pryor Creek. I believe that by working together, we can achieve a sustainable and equitable financial future for our city. Thank you for considering me for your mayor.
Mayor, I'll repeat the question. What is your plan to address the city's budget and financial management?
Budget, financial management. City budget and financial management is a combination of skills that have daily, monthly, and yearly tasks. Daily tasks are mainly review and working with department heads on their section of responsibility. Monthly tasks are review and reporting to Budget Personnel Committee. When an expenditure request from a department head exceeds a line item, approval fund level, I normally take that request to Budget Personnel Committee for approval. But I said normally, when there is an urgent need that the line item is not drastically over that approved budget level, then perhaps we can overspend that line item. However, drawing it to the attention of the committee is appropriate, always appropriate. Since each section of the budget has a budgeted level, the critical component to watch is the section that it stays within its budgeted level. Any deviation exceeding that section must receive a budget amendment recommendation by the Budget Personnel Committee and then approval by City Council before the level is exceeded. Budget sections in our budget are the general fund, and that includes 14 different departments. So police and fire and library and general government, clerical, cemetery, civil defense, municipal court, community development, city treasurer, parks, all of those are in that general fund. Other budget sections that with separate funds are street and drainage, golf course, recreation center, capital improvements, E911, Pryor Public Works Authority, and Economic Development Trust Authority. So the yearly tasks, there are daily and monthly and yearly tasks. Yearly tasks are review, reporting, and budget construction for the following fiscal year. So what I do is I start building the budget for the next fiscal year in March. And by meeting with department heads for the purpose of communication and coordination, what we do is we get our heads together and we put a budget together. We work on that. We work on that for several weeks. We have several meetings where department heads and mayor will get together before we go to budget personnel and recommend a budget for that section. It works. It's worked well over the last few years, and I wasn't the one who invented it. The mayor before me is the one who did that. It's time. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll take
I'm running this show. Let's go. All right. What is your vision for the city's future, and how will you work to make it a reality?
Well, like everybody, I want this to be the best community in the nation, right? I want to work with the citizens to build a plan. I've said this before, and I'm going to stand behind it. It's my belief that if we continue to remain reactive to the things around us, then we're going to fail. We need to begin becoming more proactive and looking 5, 10, even 30 years down the road. About 5 years before this current administration began, the citizens of Pryor came together and built the foundation for this to happen. We, the people of Pryor, with the help of many costly consultants, as well as hours and hours of meetings and getting people together, and again, many meetings, we created that comprehensive plan. It outlined our needs and gave insight to areas that needed focus, that we needed to focus on collectively. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's time to dust off and get back on track. We work together to build our future. When someone asks what our 5, 10, and 30-year plans are, I want every citizen to know where we're going. Secondly, I want Pryor to continue to attract people. I want our town to be a place that people want to come. We need to become a destination for families for every occasion. Doing this requires providing quality of life to all, clean and safe neighborhoods and parks, variety and shopping, creating that destination for families to come and visit, and enjoy requires unity and growth. Growth is inevitable. It has to happen. But the pace that it grows is set by our combined vision. We have some work to do. We need a mayor with a vision. And I have that vision. I am passionate enough to see it happen. A famous quote from John Lennon once said that a dream we dream alone is just a dream. A dream we dream together is a reality.
All right. I'll repeat the question. What is your vision for the city's future, and how will you work to make it a reality?
As candidate for mayor of Pryor Creek, I have a clear and ambitious vision for the future of our city, and I'm eager to work with residents, businesses, and community leaders to make it a reality. My vision for Pryor Creek is of a thriving, dynamic, and inclusive city where residents can live, work, and raise a family with confidence and hope for the future. To achieve this vision, I believe that we need to focus on 3 key areas: economic development, quality of life, and public safety. Economic development is at the heart of my vision for Pryor Creek. I believe that by attracting new businesses, supporting existing businesses, and investing in our infrastructure and workforce development, we can create new jobs, spur innovation, and boost economic growth in our city. Quality of life is also a critical component of my vision of Pryor Creek. I will work to improve the quality of life for residents by enhancing access to parks, recreation facilities, and cultural amenities, as well as by promoting small growth and sustainable development practices. Finally, I believe that public safety is the foundation of a thriving and vibrant city. If elected, I will work to improve public safety in Pryor Creek by investing in the police and fire departments, enhancing emergency preparedness and response, and working to prevent crime before it happens through community-based programs. In conclusion, I am passionate about Pryor Creek and its future, and I am eager to work with residents, businesses, and community leaders to make my vision a reality. I believe that by working together, we can build a better and brighter future for our city. Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, what is your vision of the city's future, and how will you make that a reality?
My vision for the city's future is growth and prosperity via application of stewardship principles. In my opinion, there are 4 categories of stewardship. There's time, there's the environment, there's finance, and there's relationship. I believe that time, environment, and finance sit under the umbrella of the stewardship of relationship. Because growth and prosperity is my vision for all of us in Pryor Creek, I work through the stewardship principles that have served me and my businesses well over the past 40 years. This is how it works for us. Empowerment and accountability becomes a culture. It becomes a culture. Time, environment, finance works through empowered relationships. So here's an example. 4 years ago, before I was elected mayor, I began to develop an empowerment relationship with Jenny LaFave as director of Pryor Main Street. Meaningful conversation and relationship building led to my understanding of what Main Street needed, and it also led to Jenny understanding what partnership with City of Pryor Creek could look like. Neither of us knew what Main Street would look like 4 years ago, but what morphed and grew during those years was because she was empowered by a relationship of shared vision and accountability. Jenny and Main Street Board, Main Street staff, Main Street partners spilled empowerment over to our system, or over to our citizens, who now enjoy all that Main Street is accomplishing for our citizens and our guests of Pryor Creek. That translates to greater sales tax revenues, greater prosperity in our downtown merchants, improvement of our downtown corridor, and enhanced services to our citizens and the guests of Pryor Creek. This is just one example of empowerment and accountability through stewardship. There are many more examples with department heads and with our Pryor Creek partners. Empowerment through accountability, and that stewardship works. Thank you.
All right, I'll repeat the question again. What is your vision for the city's future, and how will you work to make it a reality?
Work with the citizens. What do they want? What would you like to have in 20 years? You want to have things that are untolerable? We have a great police department, great fire department. We're working every day to get it better. I know we are. Have a new station. More central location. Plus, still have 9th and Elliott. That's, it's things you have to work on different things. You got to come up with a plan. There's lots of good plans I have. I won't talk about them too much. I don't want anybody to take any advantage of them. Okay? Thank you. Who's second? You'll be first.
Thank you, sir. All right. Question number 6. What is transparency regarding the Pryor Creek government, and how will you promote transparency in your role?
Transparency is an important principle in any level of government and is especially crucial in a city like Pryor Creek. Transparency means that the government is open and honest about its operations and decisions, and it empowers residents to hold their elected officials accountable. If elected, I am committed to making transparency a top priority in Pryor Creek City government. This will involve a number of key steps, including increased access to public records, regular reporting on the city's performance, and more opportunities for public input and engagement in city-making decisions. One of the key elements of my plan for transparency is to make it easier for residents to access information about city operations and finances. This might include improving the website with clear and accessible information about city budgets, contracts, and other important documents. In addition, I will work to increase transparency in the decision-making process, providing more opportunities for public engagement and input. This might include holding town hall meetings such as this, creating online forums for discussion and feedback, and working to make city meetings more accessible and open to the public. Finally, I believe that transparency is most effective when it is supported by strong ethical standards and robust oversight mechanisms. If elected, I will work to ensure that the city's employees and elected officials are held to high ethical standards, and the city's processes and procedures are designed to promote transparency and accountability. In conclusion, I am passionate about transparency in government, and I believe that it is essential to building trust between city government and its residents. If elected, I will work tirelessly to make transparency a reality in Pryor City government. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, what is transparency regarding the Pryor Creek government, and how will you promote transparency in your role?
Transparency through Pryor Creek City government comes alive through Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Those definitions prescribe how we hold meetings, how we publish minutes to meetings, as well as the availability of any city government document. A few years ago, we updated our city website so that it was more user-friendly, and there are components of the website that still need to be updated again. So that's one of our tasks. As our culture becomes more and more technology-driven, the access to government services, personnel, processes, and data should continue to improve, making those components more and more accessible. There are two extremes, I think, that are perceived in the transparency spectrum. One extreme says, all of the information that I want to know should have already been spoken to me. That's the evening news perceived reality. The other extreme is, if you want to know something, you must ask on my time schedule. Well, that's kind of the courtroom perceived reality. Most of us fall somewhere in the middle. The reality of how transparency is intentionally practiced at City Hall is this: we attempt to follow the law and the statutes that apply to the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Beyond that, we attempt to provide exceptional customer service through all of our government processes. I assure you that neither our processes or our customer service is perfect. I also assure you that stewardship principles apply everywhere at City Hall and throughout our city departments, as all of us are on the firing line each day. Some of us 24 hours a day. Transparency is the law. Transparency is the target we shoot for in our ethics, in our communication, in our customer service, in our attitudes, in our actions, and in our words. We have to all be transparent. We have to all be seen through. We have to all be accessible. We have to all have the ability to answer questions. If we don't know the answer, we go find it. Transparency in city government is defined for us, and it's one of the most important things we do. Thank you. Who's next?
I'll get one chance.
All righty. What is transparency regarding the Pryor Creek government, and how will you promote transparency in your role?
Say that 3 times. No. Transparency, yeah. I can just barely say it once. Customer service, I said that before. You gotta have customer service. And customer service, excuse me. You threw me off. Thank you. I'm immediately deterred.
I want to make sure they can hear you online.
Yeah, okay. cut that out. Okay. You have to have customer service for that transparency to work. There's not a whole lot I can say about that. I mean, you guys pretty well took everything I was going to say. So I'm going to pass my minute and a half.
All right, if you'll give it to Mr. Doyle, I would appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Doyle, what is transparency regarding the Pryor Creek government, and how will you promote transparency in your role?
What is transparency? First of all, it's often thought as the top sharing everything and being an open book. But I think before that, we need to take a look from a different angle. I've always said that we can keep all of our confidentialities and be 100% transparent. There's times that we need to protect the privacy of an individual or such, and we need to keep confident that which is confidential. We have roughly 15 people running for offices right now. And if you were to look at the cards on the back of the table, I think you'd notice that every one of them almost has the word transparency is a passionate thing for them. So that tells us that we have something. As I've gone door to door in the communities, that's something that I've heard. People want transparency. But what I've also learned as I've listened to those people is that transparency is a two-way street. I believe that being transparent not only means that things go from the leadership to the community, but being transparent means being a leader that truly listens, truly wants the best, because we have seen, we've listened, and we've felt when we're being spoken to. Transparency means not telling people to stay in their lane or you'll know when you need to know. It means making sure that every one of our meetings in their entirety is recorded and posted promptly so that people can be properly informed. It means that as a city, we set our integrity level so high that you as citizens know exactly what you can expect from us and that we are on your side. It's actively working 24/7 to regain the trust of every citizen and employee, every neighbor, and everybody that we do business with.
Thank you, sir. Mayor? All right, we're going to go to some of the audience's questions, and we'll save that last question for last that you guys have written down there. All right, question from the audience. Why is an outdoor pool so important? We have the rec center pool already, which is open year-round and has a very affordable admission price. Is the cost of an outdoor pool worth it when it is only open 3 months out of the year?
That's a very good question. The outdoor pool is important because our citizens, as we have tried to listen to them, say that the outdoor pool is important. And because they say that, then it's important. So moving that direction is the direction we should move. So my every intention with the outdoor pool is to renovate it and get it back up to running. When I go to restaurants, when I go to around town, outdoor pool is one of the main things that they want to talk to me about. Why don't we have the outdoor pool? Why don't we have the pool? So we talk about why we don't have the pool, but we also talk about, yes, that's the target, and that's something that we're all shooting for. That's also a piece of history in our town, and there are some of you who like to preserve history. I happen to be one of those, and we have an opportunity to preserve history and also fulfill the need that our citizens have expressed to us with the outdoor pool. Sure, it only goes for 3 months, but I think that there are many more things that we can do with our outdoor pool that would allow us to be much more valuable to our community and to many more of our citizens in our community. Thank you.
Let me repeat the question for you. Yep. Why is an outdoor pool so important? We have the rec center pool. It's already open year-round with an affordable admission. Is the cost of an outdoor pool worth it when it's only open 3 months out of the year?
No, it needs to be closed down. We lose money every year. They say we lose money every year. Every year. 25,000, that's a lot of money to lose. That's a lot of revenue you spend on nothing. Insurance also. Paying for something, paying insurance on something that's not being used. Get it out of there. That's real simple.
Brian, I feel bad. You've put in about 12 miles bringing me this microphone. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You need me to repeat the question? You're good.
No,
Okay.
no. Why do we need a pool? Why do we need a pool? So for me, one of the things that I've shared with a lot of people is I have kids at home. And so a lot of the things that I do as a parent, my wife does as a parent, we associate them in ways that our kids will remember them. There's a video that came out, a little movie cartoon that came out a while back called Inside Out. I don't know if you guys recall that. But one of the things that they, I see those with kids know exactly where I'm going with this. One of the things that they talk about in there, core memories. So for me as a kid, and these are emotional memories for me. I remember riding my bike with my sisters to the pool every day in the summer and staying there till my mother had to come find us. You know, some of the things I've heard is, well, it's a babysitting pad for parents. Who cares if it is? That's their thing. I absolutely don't believe that we need to get rid of a pool. I think what we need to do is realize that, first of all, half of our citizens are children. 4 years ago or so, with the help of our then rec board, we reached out to Mr. Paddock and got an evaluation on that pool, and we had numbers that were much lower than they are now for repair and replacement. I don't want to get into the hesitation on why that didn't get a priority, but now it's a problem. And so as we go through and we go forward, we need to do that assessment that says, hey, how can we get this to the top of our to-do list? How can we tell the kids that they're important enough that we'll set our adult stuff aside for a little while so they can have a few months of fun? So that they can have, I apologize, I do have emotions, so that they can have those golden ball core memories in their mind of going to the pool with their friends. Yo, it's so important that we put our kids and our families first. We have lost touch of the value of the family in our town. We've lost touch of what it means to be a kid. We need to work on the pool. We need to make it happen. That's going to take the assessment that needs to take place. We need to reach out for grant monies and other fundings. Am I done? Just a little bit more. Okay. Again, let's think about our kid. Can I subtract our conversation for just a minute, please? No, we need to put it first. We need to provide those core memories for our kids that we have for ourselves. And that's why that's important.
Okay, Mr. Lyons, why is the outdoor pool so important? We have the rec center pool already open, which is open year-round and very affordable admission. Is the cost of an outdoor pool worth it when it's only open 3 months out of the year?
As Mr. Mayor Larry Lee said, the pool is what the people have stated clearly across the board that they want it. It doesn't matter what the people up here on this sitting in these seats want. It's the people out there what they want that matters. And if we're not doing what the people want, then none of us need to be up here. Plain and simple. I moved here in, I think it was 1981, moved to 13th Street. I lived with my grandma and grandpa, and they had a pool. But we always went to the pool because it was an activity that all the kids on 13th Street could go do, and it was something fun, and it was a memory, and it's something that ties us all together. Anybody that grew up around here, from at least my time period, would know if I said Bobby Pickup doing cannonballs off the high dive and splashing everybody, all the kids. That's a core memory for, as you said, a core memory for everybody that's in this room that grew up at that time. They know exactly what that means. And it's important. And it's important for our kids to have those same memories into their future as it was for us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We just have the microphone up close so that the people online can hear us, because otherwise they won't be able to. So thank you very much, sir. Okay, next question from the audience. Most of you attended the Main Street Forum a few weeks ago. What are your thoughts on the organization, and will you continue to support that organization if elected?
We need to support everybody in this town, one way or the other. Sertoma Club, I believe that's where we had the last one. I enjoyed it. First one I've been to, being running for mayor. Quite educational. It was kind of long, but we had every candidate that was running for the city office. But Sertoma's a good organization. Lions Club used to be also. I don't know if they're even still around here or not, but I used to be a Lions Club member. But
Mr. Zach, please.
I gotta do my walk.
Thank you for all those steps you're putting in tonight.
Public service.
Okay, Zach, you attended the Main Street program the other night. What were your thoughts on the organization? Will you continue to support the organization?
Yeah, here's the thing. It would not benefit us for any cause or purpose to let go of what we've got going. The Main Street Group has worked hard to build up what they have. They've worked hard to become a resource that we have for information. They're supporting. They're actively seeking memberships. Yeah, we keep the momentum going. But I kind of think that it's important for us to give that same fervor to other groups and other organizations and give them a shot. That's what got Main Street off the ground was, we gave them a shot and they took it and they ran with it. And so what else do we have lying in the bushes in our town that could be productive and successful? I currently sit as the vice president of the Northeast Oklahoma Veteran Freedom Tours. It too is a nonprofit. And let me tell you, over the last 2.5 years, we've taken over 200 to Washington, D.C. for 4 days, full expense paid. And I'm going to tell you, what we see there is we see a healing process that takes place among the veterans in our community and our neighboring communities. I have had veterans from our community, some that used to even work for the city, standing by the wall where we've shed tears together and hugged and embraced and mended fences that weren't even ours to mend, but we got to spend that time together on a common focus goal. We need to support everything. I do agree with you, Brian. We need to support everything. We need to reach out. We need to look at who can benefit the city and take it and run. We have no business reinventing the wheel. We have a new chamber board. It's a whole new board, pretty much, right? We need to get behind them, and we need to support them the same. They have lots to bring to bring to the table. Our friends at the Pryor Creek Library, they started their imagination library, and let me tell you, the day that my daughter turned 5 and graduated from that program, we were wiping tears because she was sorry that she wasn't going to get her books anymore, and that meant time with daddy, time with mommy, where we couldn't read those. So, we find books and we pretend that's what it is. But the idea is we've got to support every forward positive movement that we have in our town. So yes, we continue to support them. Absolutely.
You mean to repeat the question, Jay?
Not if you don't need
Go right ahead,
I don't
sir.
need you to. I'm real confused by the question, though. Why are we answering this question? Why is somebody wanting to get rid of the Pryor Main Street organization? Because from what I heard, what they're doing phenomenal work. They're helping the community grow well. So I don't know why we're even discussing why somebody wouldn't support a group of people that their only intention is to better our community. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm having a little problem why we're even addressing this, because it's a great organization full of people from our community working on bettering the community. Sounds like a winner to me. Actually sounds like a no-brainer to me.
All right, Mayor?
So we have a wayfinding placemaking project that's on board, and we're just getting ready to start that. Our Economic Development Trust Authority is also involved in that. And so what's happened with Main Street this year is more of the involvement with the economic development machine being involved with Main Street, because the momentum that they have built with their partners has been productive. It's been productive for our town. I've said it before, but well over $3 million of new dollars have come into our town because of Main Street's efforts, and that's significant. So there's momentum going forward. It's the wayfinding placemaking project. We're getting ready to start phase 1, and I believe there are 7 phases over time, be funded in various ways, and funded as we can fund those things going forward. So a lot of momentum there, a lot of value there for our community. So yes, let's support them.
Thank you, sir. All right, this question's a little on a lighter note. Do you have a Pryor Public Library card? And if not, what are you reading right now?
Carrie, you already know the answer to this. Is it yours? So honestly, I have to be honest, I don't know if it's expired or not. But don't hate me, because, you know, it is what it is. So what, I'm sorry, give me the second half of that question again. I was blown away.
Do
like,
you
trying
have
to
a
think.
Pryor Public Library card? And if not, why not? And if not, what are you reading?
All right, I'm a movie guy. I like movies. I read with my children. That's what I do. You know, I've never been a big book person. You know, my dad would sit down several times a day and polish off a Louis L'Amour book, or we always teased him about his Rush Limbaugh Bible on the back of the toilet, those kind of things, you know, like, and it just took it out of me. But what brings me joy, and I said this before with my kids, I love sitting down and reading books like the one that says, "I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always." You know, those books, I love watching my kids as they learn and develop. I love watching them learn their sight words at school and then come home and try to read a book about Mr. Fly or what I don't know what it is. It's a big ugly fly, and she's in love with it. I love to watch my older daughter tell me the other day that she came home from school and finished a book that they were reading in class, and she was the first one. Or my son, I'm sorry, this one hits home. I watched my son last night, who sometimes struggles with some disability. And it was very monotone and very loud, but he read an entire book to his little sister. You know, that's what it's about for me. I don't know if I can put off enough how important family and children are to me. And, you know, if my library card is expired, send me an email. I'll be there tomorrow. In all honesty, I think last time I pulled it out of my pocket, I was on the Friends of the Pryor Creek Library Board, and I turned and I handed it to my son, and I said, "Here, use it." We have a great resource at our library, and one of the things that I'm proud of is we have that new teen center. We have a lot of new things that can intrigue that in children differently than it didn't intrigue me. But I'm just, you know, I'm very proud of the youth in our community and how well they can read. Good job, schools.
All right, Mr. Lyons, do you have a Pryor Public Library card? If not, why not? But if you do, what are you reading?
I do not. I'm so sorry, Carrie. And I've actually had this conversation with you about coming down to the library and getting a library card. I don't know why I don't have a library card, actually, because I do enjoy reading. I'm currently reading the 48 Laws of Power, I found it to be a very disturbing book, and I don't think people should read it because there's some darkness in it. So I also am reading How to Win Friends and Influence People because it's much more lighthearted and happy. So that's where I am at reading right now. Thank you.
Carrie, I don't have a library card. I have never had a library card. I'm just wondering how cool that might be if I had a library card. I may want to try that, a library card. I read several books at a time, and sometimes it takes me a while to get through the books, but the one that I'm reading right now is about Nathaniel Pryor, and that's one that I found at our local bookstore. And so the books that I have chosen to read lately, I guess over the last few years, have been ones that I've acquired from our good bookstore down the street here. But the one about Nathaniel Pryor, as I've asked a few people what they know about Nathaniel Pryor, and they said, "Who's Nathaniel Pryor? Who's Nathaniel Pryor?" And so I think it's important for us to know something about Nathaniel Pryor and know something about our history here in Pryor Creek, Oklahoma, and why we're named that, where we got that name, some of those components of our history that are really legacy kind of things. And so Nathaniel Pryor, a pretty cool guy, and he's buried out in our cemetery. And it's not the first time he's been buried, but he lays there now. And I'll have an opportunity to speak to some students about Nathaniel Pryor, hopefully this next year. No, I don't have a library card. The reason I don't is because it hasn't been my culture to have a library card. So there you go.
Mr. Montgomery, do you have a library card? I mean, if so.
No, I don't have a library card. I used to, but I lost the book. About 5 years later, I found it.
So you're saying it was revoked, then, what you're saying?
Well, no, they said if I paid the $210 fine, I could have one. I said, you know something? Never mind. And that night I took it down, put it in the book returner. So that's why I don't.
Okay, if you'll hand it to Mr. Lyons, please. All right, I'm gonna ask one more question, and then I'm gonna allow you guys to have some comments. I'm trying to watch our time here. All right, so if you are not elected, how will you continue to work to improve Pryor?
As a candidate who is committed to personal and professional growth, I understand the importance of continuing education and learning. If I am not elected as mayor of Pryor Creek, I plan to use the time to complete my final MBA course and strengthen my skills and knowledge in areas such as budgeting, financial management, and strategic planning. However, even as I focus on my own growth and development, I will not turn my back on Pryor Creek. I believe that my commitment to the city runs deep, and I will continue to seek out ways to make a positive impact, whether through volunteering, participating in public meetings, or advocating for important decisions. I will work to ensure that the city continues to move forward in a positive direction. Now that I'm no longer the chief of police of Salina, I will have much more time to be able to be involved in Pryor's activities as opposed to always having to be over in Salina for every activity that goes on over there. So I plan on, either way, doing some volunteer work through the chamber as well.
I like that.
Yeah, I figured you would. But, sorry, lost my train of thought. However, even as I focus on, additionally, I would like to look for an opportunity to put my newfound skills and knowledge to work in service of the city, whether through serving on boards and committees, offering my expertise to local organizations, or working with local businesses to drive economic growth. I will use my education to help make Pryor Creek a better place. In conclusion, I am committed to both my own growth and the future of Pryor Creek, and I believe that these goals can be pursued simultaneously. If I am not elected as mayor, I will continue to work to make a difference in the city, using all of the skills and knowledge at my disposal to help create a brighter future for Pryor Creek. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
In the event that I'm not reelected as Pryor's mayor, the first thing that I would do is congratulate the new mayor-elect and commit my support throughout the remainder of my term, so that transition would be as smooth as possible. Secondly, I would avail myself to the new mayor to be at his service, her service. I think in this, it would be at his service in any way that was possible. Beyond that, community service is a conviction for me. I would look for ways to volunteer my service to our citizens, our elected officials, our boards and commissions. I believe in working through established ethical and moral leadership protocols. Doing so promotes unity and the best position of productivity in any organization. So participation alongside our citizens is a great place to be. I would want to find my place of service to our citizens in the event that I was not reelected. And I want to say thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you all for being concerned, and thank you all for your support of the city. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you tonight. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Montgomery. If you're not elected, how will you continue to work to improve Pryor, sir?
Give me a call, that's all. I'll help you with anything I can, what knowledge I have. You? No, you're next.
Zach?
Zach hadn't gone yet.
That's a theme. All right? It's okay. So, in the event that I'm not elected to be mayor, I haven't really thought about this answer because I'm optimistic. But for any of you that know me, you know that I go 2,000 miles an hour every day, all day long, never ending. I have a job. I work 60 hours a week. That job is in the middle of a transition through acquisitions and things like that. So that's there. But I also have been actively serving pretty much since we moved here. And right now, you know, one of the things that I love doing, and I've said this, I brought it up a couple times. Gosh, I don't remember what year it was. Holly Ketcher had decided to resign from taking over the Veterans Day program. And that was a little bit of a heated meeting afterwards when nobody stepped up to it. And I said, I'll do it. I don't know if any of you remember that. I said, I'll do it. I did not know what I was in for. Holy cow. But let me tell you how my life has changed. Service is not something we do. It's who we are. I love to serve. I come from a family of public servants. My grandmother, in the town that I grew up in, erected the nation's first Vietnam memorial. So on the celebration of the anniversary of the armistice, it was so fun and rewarding to put a monument at City Hall for those that had served, those who had sacrificed for our community. That was a privilege for me to be able to do that. And of course, it took some approvals and, you know, some working with the council and the mayor at the time, but it's there, and it stands as a monument of service for those who served. But service is who we are. Service comes with a level of integrity. And, you know, if I don't win this, it's just one less thing I have to do in my day, and I'll be sad, but I will continue to serve my veterans, to serve at church, to serve my family, to serve my beautiful wife and my kids, to serve my God, and those that are around me that I can put my love into. And so, no, it's okay. Yeah, we'll continue to serve.
Thank you, sir. All right. Got one final question to go along with your closing comments. Why should I vote for you? And you can close with your closing comments in that question.
When I consider how I would respond to that, why should you vote for me? I have a conviction to serve. I have a conviction to serve you guys. And, you know, if I've not done a good job over the last 3.5 years, then you don't need to vote for me. Are we better off in our community than we were 3.5 years ago? And if the answer to that question is yes, then maybe there's a reason to vote that I would serve again as your mayor. I know that because of the stewardship principles that I attempt to live by, those have always served me well, and those have always served others well. And each day when I go to the office, each day when I speak with department heads, each day when I speak with a city council member, each day when we talk about all the plethora of things that come through City Hall day by day, something that I look forward to. It's something I feel like I'm equipped for, and it's something that I feel like that we've had some success over the last 3.5 years. I would appreciate your vote. I would appreciate your vote, and I would appreciate being able to serve you and serve alongside with you for the next term. And I said it before. Time will tell if citizens have chosen wisely, and I would say that choose with your mind, with your heart, choose with wisdom, and choose wisely. Thank you very much.
Very good. Don't tear you up now. I would like to have your vote on the 14th of February. Reason is, it won't take me 3.5 years to get something done. That's why I said that. Anyway, I didn't want to have a fist fight up here. There's so many things that people want us to do as being city council people and myself. I'm just a referee and a suggester. That's all the mayor does. Doesn't sound very important, but get department heads together and say, hey, let's work on this a little bit. That's all you need to do. Everybody work together. If you have a problem, you can come see me in my office, because the door don't close on it. I'll take the door off. So anybody, any citizen can come in there and ask me anything they want. Thank you.
Mr. Doyle,
Will you repeat that one more time?
why should I vote for you?
Why should you vote for me? Well, you know, good answers are given. I do have hurdles, I do. But I'm going to tell you what, you know, being a public servant, being a public official, being a leader, those are all traits that I carry. They're in my blood. Grandparents on both sides have served their communities and done things for the community. It is in my blood. It's what I enjoy doing. You know, we talked about service a few minutes ago, and I'm going to tell you, most of us know this, nothing makes you happier than serving your neighbor, right? I've had some experience. I think this is now my 6th year I'm going into being associated in some way or another serving the community. Whether it's being on the council representing Ward 4, which was a blast, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. I will say I was very intimidated the first time that I had to call Jill and introduce myself. I was like, I'm Zach. But you know what? We got in there. Mr. Stott came into my store, and man, I thought I was going to court with that one. He drilled me like crazy. But when it was all said and done, I'll never forget the words he said. He said, I think you're the guy for the job. And I appreciate that. And ever since then, every compliment that I've gotten, every boosting up, and every time somebody has taken time to buoy me up in my service, I'm humbled and I'm grateful for that. But I also know that there's work to do, and I'm not afraid to do that. I'm not afraid to support the citizens in their rights and those things that they deserve. But we got a city to run, and I've got the experience. 20 plus years in managing businesses and people, from Bank of America to Citibank to I owned my own bike shop at one time. Anybody wants a bike fixed, come and see me. Maybe I'll do that if I don't win. But, but you know, the thing is I am a servant, and I will do what is needed. You know, I'm grateful for the support. So, you know, vote for Doyle. O'Doyle rules.
All right, Mr. Lyons. Why should we vote for you?
Thank you again, every one of you, for coming out here tonight. I've really appreciated it. I've also appreciated running against these fine gentlemen here tonight. The reason you should vote for me, plain and simple, is that for the last 7 years of my life, I've been pouring every bit of me into another community. And I have helped that community grow, and it has turned into a really fantastic place to go visit. But it's not where I live. It's not my home. And I'm ready to pour my heart of service into the community that I love and live in. That's not Salina. That's Pryor Creek. And I've been here for over 40 years. This is my home. Looking at it in the crowd, I see family. And a lot of these people I haven't seen in 15, 20 years maybe. But as soon as I saw Nettie this evening, I nearly started crying. You're not the only one that gets emotional sometimes. One of the very first people I met when I moved to Pryor Creek, as well as my friend Marty, who lives right across the street from me. This is my home. I've been here. I've grown up here. I've grown up in many different ways. This whole community has gone from seeing me as a young child and a teenager that was good at track and an athlete to a bit of a juvenile delinquent and a problem maker for a little while, and to see the support and help that the community gave me, I have to give that back. I owe that to the community that supported me and helped me from either ending up in prison or ending up in the ground. I love this community with my whole heart. I always have. I had an opportunity to go and serve a community as a police officer. It was a calling, and it's the only way I can describe it. Because a call for service, whether it's police, fire, serving as government, it's not just something you just decide to do. You really get pulled. It drags your heart into it, your soul. The entirety of who you are gets pulled towards service. And if it's not, you probably don't need to be in one of these positions, because that's what it's about. It's about helping your fellow man and fellow sister. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. And I certainly want to thank the candidates for your respect and for your camaraderie and for your ability to answer our questions. And we certainly appreciate that. I'd like to thank the audience and for your questions and for you being here tonight and participating in this event. I'd like to remind everybody that February the 14th is the day to vote, as I said before. Get out and vote. It's a very important election. And again, if you don't vote, you don't have a say. So please do so, all right? And I would also like to thank the the Friends of the Library Board and staff for helping put this on. If you'll give them a round of applause, I appreciate that. And I'd also like to thank the board and staff from the Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce. You guys have done a great job. So thank you. All right, so we're going to finish up with some drawings. We're giving away 3 tickets tonight. And if you win a ticket, you get someone to go with you. So you get 2 tickets, basically. And the first ticket is 754604. That you? All right. See Yvette, and she'll get you on the list. If you win a ticket tonight, you just show up any one of the days, 10th, 11th, or 12th. Tell them who you are, show an ID, and they'll already have your name. And if you have issues, we'll have a table right there so we can address those. Next one, 754610. Mr. Lamar, City Council, that was rigged. I'm the one that drew, that's 2. Well, you know, hey, the City Council, that's a tough job, so, I mean, we got a reward. I'm being very transparent when I say I did not rig that. I'm just grabbing, okay? All right, 754636. 754636. No one? All right. One more. 754606. 754606. Man, we must have been boring tonight, guys. That's left. Somebody, I'm telling you. 754608. 608. Going once, going twice. Nobody wants this last ticket. It's the last one. How about 614? Yes. Yay. All right. Just see Yvette. Okay, if you'd like, you can stick around, meet the candidates 101. There's some refreshments back here in the back and some pamphlets for their campaign. Thank you guys for coming out tonight.